Okay, bye 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 bye.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Bye 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 bye. Let's get to baking some cookies. First things first, ingredients. Where is all-purpose flour? Hello and welcome to today's vlog. I'm so excited to film this one because I'm finally, well, bread flour aside, I finally feel like I've mastered my chocolate chip cookie recipe. And if you've been following me on Instagram, you will know that this has been something I've been trying to do probably for like the past 6 months, and it's been driving me crazy. If you've seen the episode of Friends where Monica like tries all the cookie recipes because she wants to be the mom that like is known for the chocolate chip cookies, that she can hand down a recipe to her kids, that is what I am trying to do.
I give up. I guess I'm not going to be the mom who makes the world's best chocolate chip cookies. I do make the best duck confit with broccoli rabe. Kids love that, right?
I'm trying to come up with the most perfect cookie recipe, and I have looked on TikTok. I have tried different recipes, and I think I found one. So the recipe that I've been using is this one from Butternut Bakery blog. I mean, let's just like take a look at those. I mean, isn't that just so decadent, so delicious? But the issue I had with this recipe is that it was quite sweet, and also they were really, really big cookies. I think in the recipe it says they need to be 6 ounces each, which when measured it out, it was like a flipping tennis ball. I mean, I do not want a tennis ball cookie, in my opinion. I feel like that's a bit much. So I've made a few tweaks and changes, but the biggest thing of all, I ordered a kilo of chocolate chips from Amazon. Now, if you're making cookies for the first time, I really highly recommend finding chocolate that is of high quality, and like a Belgian chocolate is divine because it really does make a difference in like the overall consistency, the creaminess of the cookie, and the sweetness of the cookie. That's my recommendation. I've tested this recipe with just like normal store-bought chocolate chips, milk chocolate chips, dark chocolate chips, a combination of the two, and I'm really excited to try these. I think it's going to be groundbreaking because we have a little snacky snack. As you can see, it's already been opened, and they are so creamy, so light, and super excited to try that. The only irritation is that I didn't get all-purpose flour, but we'll pivot and we will make a plan. So here is what you need. You've got your small baking bowl, your big baking bowl, all-purpose flour, aka bread flour, which is behind me. This corn flour has made such a difference in the cookies as well. I really, really highly recommend that. I've got baking powder, sugar, salt, the chocolate chip cookies, and I need to grab some sugar. So before we get started in the recipe, and we'll need a vanilla essence, of course. Vanilla bean is better, but this was cheaper. Before we jump into the recipe, I did want to share that I had a few check boxes that I needed in a recipe. I wanted it salty, but not too salty. I wanted it chewy, but not raw. And I wanted it still crispy on the outside, and that was really important to me. We have a local bakery restaurant down the road, and they have the best chocolate chip cookies, but these are just so perfect, and it's been my goal to like recreate that recipe. And although I haven't recreated that exact recipe, I feel so happy with this one. I think it's just I think it's really good, and I'm happy with it. So hopefully we can recreate one that I'm happy with today. Another top tip I had was to take your eggs out of the fridge if you keep them there. We keep them in the fridge. Is that weird? I don't know. So you can have them room temperature, and of course you will need room temperature butter, so that is important. And of course, before we jump in, I will link this recipe down below for you guys, because I know it's kind of hard to follow along with these videos, and also I don't really know what I'm doing. I also want to just take a moment for our new scale, which we picked up off the side of the road. So if you have a scale like this, I recommend grabbing this one. The only thing about this recipe is that I personally have found is that you have to be quite accurate with your measurements, whereas usually I'm more one just to like throw everything into a bowl and hope for the best. So first thing you want to do is grab your more medium-sized bowl, and then we're going to start measuring out our flour. Using this pains my soul. But regardless, you are going to take your all-purpose flour, not your bread flour, and get 2¼ cups. Otherwise, you can measure as 292 grams. Okay. Then we're going to take our corn flour or cornstarch. I'm going to grab 1 teaspoon. Ooh. Be right back. Okay, now we are ready. 1 teaspoon of cornstarch. We're going to take our baking soda and get 1/4 of that, a 1/4 teaspoon. I really desperately need to get measuring teaspoons because I don't know how accurate this is. We're going to need 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. We're going to need to take our salt, and then we're going to just mix that together. In this mixing bowl, we're going to take 220 grams of butter and mix together 1 egg and 1 egg yolk. And that goes an egg yolk, so we only need the yolk. And that goes. Ooh. Okay, now that you've got all of that sorted, you're going to take your electric mixer, which I also highly recommend doing with an electric mixer, not by hand, because you just don't get the same fluffiness with your butter and your egg. But before we start mixing the butter, I just really want to emphasize to not over mix your butter, so you can get like a bit butter milky, if you know what I mean. The lightness and the fluffiness of the butter really contributes to the lightness and the fluffiness of the cookie. I was thinking, as I was mixing this, thinking, no, something feels wrong. Normally it's like sugars before eggs. It's fine. It's fine. We're gonna rally. It's fine. It's fine. And in that goes to this gross looking mixture. Mix. Okay, so after all of that, it's not looking too bad. I realized that this vlog is just going to be like pure chaos. So we're going to take 2 teaspoons of your vanilla essence. I don't know if this is a thing, but my granny always taught me just to use the cap. When I say I waited for the Amazon delivery person to bring these, that is not a lie. I literally tracked the order. I was so excited. So in the recipe, like I've already said before, they recommend sizing out your dough for 6 ounces. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I am just going to be honest with you for like 2 ounces, just because I feel like anything bigger than that is a bit much. It's a bit tedious to do, but it does really provide like a more evenly cooked cookie. And then these go in the fridge for overnight or for 4 hours. It's totally up to you. I'm gonna do 4 hours just because I don't have the patience to see how good these turned out. Now it's time to tidy up this mess, because yes, Mom, I do tidy up after my baking, and I'm gonna go join the boys at the beach. I will see you guys in 4 hours. Let's get these suckers in the oven. Okay, we've set the oven to 180, and these are gonna go in for 8 minutes. So another way that I've deviated from the original recipe is the cooking time. They recommend 10 minutes, but because we're not doing the big 6-ounce cookies, I'm doing it a shorter time, and I might even do it even shorter just to try and see if I can get them out before they get too cooked and too crispy, just because of the bread. Because of the bread all-purpose. What is it? Bread flour. Please set a timer for 7 minutes.
7 minutes, counting down.
So hopefully that will work. And I've also got the oven on fan assist today instead of just normal oven.
Let me see.
I'm hoping it will help with a more even bake. So my super secret tip for creating cookies is to actually put them straight into the fridge for 10 minutes after they come out the oven. A, they're a lot quicker to like eat them, and B, just makes them really nice and chewy. It's like ooey gooey.
It's crunchy but also soft. That's a perfect cookie.
Have I done it?
You have.
Just take a look at this. Yes, it baked in like a weird shape, but I put too many on the baking thing. It's not a recipe's fault, but just like, oh my word, look at that gooiness. I can now rest peacefully knowing that my cookie recipe is good. You guys try this recipe. Let me know how it works and if you think this is the perfect cookie recipe, because I truly think that this is the best cookie I've ever tried in my life. The chocolate makes such a difference, and putting it in the freezer for 5 minutes or the fridge for 10 minutes afterwards just like really helps them set in that chewy perfectness that they are currently at. And turns out bread flour, not the worst thing that's ever happened to it. So maybe that's also a trick, and mixing the butter with the egg and not the sugar, maybe that also is the trick to the perfect cookie. But anyway, let me know in the comments below if you decide to try this recipe, and just like tag me in it, or comment if it worked, if it didn't work, what you think you want to do differently. I would love to hear it. But until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
There's the chocolate, huh? The consistency is